Oh, you fancy, huh?
Okay.
Hi guys.
Hey now.
New week, new episode.
Mm-mm-mm.
So last week we talked
Ooh,
about
we gotta say
my emotions and all of my crying that I do to this day still.
okay.
So there was a comment that was made last week during that episode that gained a little attention. And it was that she used to tell me, put my feelings in a box and shit them on a shelf as if I was going to the penitentiary. So guys, the time has come. It's Trey Trey week. This is Thug Dizzle T week. And we get to talk about why Mama T had a 10-year bid in the feds.
Wow. That's a lot you just said.
I know,
You
right?
said why Mama T had a 10-year bid
in the feds.
Ooh.
Good.
I guess I need to start there, right?
So, where were you at in life?
As far as what?
So we're gonna take it back. We're gonna take it back before the feds a little bit, just a little bit, because we gotta lead you up to the feds, right?
Okay.
Right. So we're gonna have multiple episodes.
We running lights out in the streets.
That was yellow. Anyways,
that was red.
That was yellow.
But okay.
Anyways,
you want me to tell my story so
want
bad?
You to tell your story. Don't try to deflect.
This ain't you physically running lights out here in these streets.
Run a light.
Okay.
That was yellow, and that's what you gotta tell them. Oh.
I'm gonna tell the po what? I don't speak to the police unless it's on another note. Unless it's on another note at that time, you know what I mean. But let's get back to the topic.
Let's get back on. Oh, now you want to stay on topic? I know you lying. So let's talk about it. So
let's talk about it.
How old were you?
I was 18.
18. So at 18. Give me a couple of months before you even got arrested. What was life like for you?
I was a young mother. Okay. I just had your brother at the age of, I was 16 when I had Devon. No, I was 17 when I had Devon.
Okay.
And I was 6 months later, I went and I caught my fat bit.
Okay. So, all right. So 6 months prior to that, you have Devon. Mm-hmm. And what were you doing at that time? Like, as far as like,
I was a drug dealer. I was selling drugs. I was transporting drugs. I was in the game.
Okay. And prior to having Devon, how long you did that for?
Oh, I started selling drugs at the age of 14.
Okay. So you had a nice little stint.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Almost 4 years.
It was a good 4 years too.
It was a good 4 years?
Okay. It was.
So at that time, what led you though to selling drugs? Like you're saying you're 14. Devon wasn't thought of. Devon wasn't a thought. So
okay. All right. It would have to be my environment that I was in and my upbringing of coming up in the world.
Okay.
It was the 90s. It was the 80s. It was like 86, 87, I want to say. In the 86 and beginning of 87.
Okay.
And that's what was out there at the time. It was drugs. You was either selling, using.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? So I chose to sell and not use.
Okay. So with that being said, like, was it obviously for the profit, but grandma provided
it wasn't a need. It was just a want.
Okay.
I didn't need to sell drugs. Mm-hmm. My mother took real good care of me.
Okay.
And then I also had my father's blessings at that time, where my father was doing for me right along with my mother. But I really didn't have to, but it was something I chose to do because the environment I was in, it was all about being out there. So
but in the late 80s, you were pretty much a privileged kid. Like money really wasn't a problem. It was just
my mama worked every single day. My mama wasn't a welfare mama. My mama worked. My mama got up every morning and went to work. 5 o'clock in the morning, my mama was at the train station. She was at the train station. She was going to work, and it was just, and I say, being out there early in the streets and doing stuff in the streets. Like I always told you, never let your peers influence you to do things. Well, shit, my peers used to influence me because they used to have shit like it was two different type of lifestyles going on Carroll Street at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you was either using or you was selling. And I was not gonna suck on nobody's pipe and get high off a crack at them times. You know what I mean? I was a young girl, so that wasn't my thing. Okay. Now you can give me a bag of weed, I'll smoke up, but I would never ever use anything that was white. I never used coke. Mm-hmm. I never snort coke. I did acid one time. Like, I ain't gonna say one time. It was more than one time. But it was just like they was little tablets you used to put on your tongue. And I just did that. Like, but it never led to me going down a route that was gonna be hard drugs and stuff like that. No, that wasn't what I was looking for.
All right. So you growing up, you told me don't give in to peer pressure, but low key, that's what you did.
I'm not gonna say it was peer pressure because
you seen everybody else doing it.
It was either you had your little $60 to go get your 8-ball and do your thing, or you sat on the curb and watch everybody else do it. So at that time,
it was like a trend. So
yeah, everybody was doing it. It was like everybody was doing it. It wasn't in my neighborhood, in my hood. It was everybody was doing something to make some money on the side.
Got it.
It was even, I also did packing bags and stuff like that. I used to pump gas at the gas station. I'll do anything to get $1. You know what I mean? I'll beat a bitch ass for a bag of weed. I did things to get what I wanted when I was out there. You know what I mean? But I never sold myself. Right. You know what I mean? I ain't never was in a situation where I had to. It was always I wanted to.
Right.
So I feel like that's not really peer pressure. It was more, we all had our own thing. Everybody used to have a little pack. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own 8-ball. It wasn't like we all had to put in together to get it. We did it separate, but we did it together.
Okay. So for the first 3 years, prior to Devon, prior to the arrest, were you traveling? What was you?
A lot of traveling in and out of New York City, back and forth.
And how was you getting the drugs out?
Oh, well, it depends on how much I was taking out. Like, if you're talking about transporting part of my life, it depends on what I was taking out. It'll be taped to my body. You know what I mean?
So this is before TSA. TSA wasn't a thing.
It was a thing, but it wasn't
like what it is now.
Right. Like what y'all go through now getting through the airport, we did not have them situations going on. You know what I mean? You can get in there with it in your wig, all kinds of stuff. Like it was, some used to wrap them like dildos and you inserted it. You know what I mean? So it depends on who you was messing with and who was providing your transportation or getting it out of town.
Okay. And where were you going? Like, where were you transporting to?
Well, early days of the beginning, starting, we had some Dominicans up in Harlem that we was working for, and they had us going all over. And it would be drop off and bring back and stuff like that. Sometimes it used to just be a money run where we took money out of town and came back with drugs, or we just took money and came back home. It depends, like, what they was offering, how much they was offering for the run. Because that was the thing back then. It was like niggas had to really offer you something to make you want to make that type of run.
Right. You're taking a risk, so it got to be worth it.
It got to be worth the risk. So I ain't do too much out of town without some paper. It was have to pay me. Right. You know what I mean? So it depends.
So during this time, was it more just like you was just spending the money it was like
I was young. I was living fast. Like we clubbing, we doing all types of stuff. We doing our thing. So yeah, money was being spent. I went through a lot of money. Like money went through my hands. I was out there.
It was teabag.
I was tray bag.
Tray bag. Oh yeah, tray bag. Yeah.
Oh, it's tray bag.
So where were some of the places you got to like visit when you were transporting?
It wasn't visit.
Well, drop off, whatever, you know what I mean? Mom. But I'm just saying, where did you fly? It wasn't like
I went to Puerto Rico a few times. We even went to Dominican Republic. We went to I went to Cuba one time, and that was the schoolgirl outfit.
Was it Cuba or Colombia?
Colombia.
I'm about to say, didn't they have a lift back then? Like they had a restriction on
Cuba. It was Colombia. It was Colombia.
Okay.
That we went to. I went a few places. Okay. Mm.
So, all right. So that's the first 3 years. It was just living fast, being young,
and being out there,
and just being out there. So tell us,
tell y'all
about. I guess let's fast forward. So the first 3 years, like you said, it was living fast, being young, making money, spending it, doing that. So now let's fast forward to you, 16, 17, and you get pregnant with Devon.
Ooh. Well, my pregnancy, I hid my pregnancy. Like, my moms didn't find out I was pregnant until I was almost going on 7 months pregnant. I think I was like 6 months or so, real shy at 7. It wasn't too far from being 7 months, probably like a week or two. I'd have been 7 months pregnant when she found out. And Gwen wasn't playing.
So let me stop you real there. Why did you hide it though?
Why did I hide it?
Yeah, why did you hide it?
You know my mama? Shit, you hide everything from her. You ain't know. Mama gave out ass whooping. She got ass whooping from my mama. She wasn't playing.
I swear, when you talk about grandma sometimes, I feel like, what are you talking about? That lady was soft on me. That lady gave me everything I want. I could tell her anything. I took my grandma to get my nipples pierced with me. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, my grandma was so open with me. Like, I didn't hide nothing from her.
I hid every goddamn thing. The fuck?
I didn't hide nothing from her.
I hid everything from my mama. It was like, my mama ain't even know I got arrested when I got arrested until, like, they brought her the baby and was like, Tracy ain't come back home. We think she got locked up out of town. My best friend was the one that told my mama that I was locked up. I left my son with my best friend when I went to out of state on my last run. And when I got arrested. And that day was Lord, that day was just so hectic.
Okay, hold on, you fast forwarding.
Okay.
So you hit your pregnancy. Your pregnancy. So you was still obviously dealing during that too.
Yep. I was young. And then I ended up getting pregnant by somebody that was already married in a relationship, and I had no clue. Like,
so you was the other woman and didn't know you were the other woman.
Right.
Because most other women know they the other women.
Nah, I ain't know I was the other woman. This man made me feel like it was just me. Matter of fact, we argued the day I got arrested and went to jail. That's why I said that day was so hectic. Yeah. Like, but I ain't find out half of the things about David until I had Devon. And at that time, we was dealing with beepers. When you was trying to get in contact with your peoples. And he had a beeper, and I beeped him, and I put in my little code, you know, letting it know it was me and shit. And a chick called me back. And I was like, the fuck? Who this? She was like, this David wife. I was like, wife? Wow, I ain't even know that. And she was like, well, I'm calling because I see you constantly keep beeping him and you keep hitting in 911. What's the emergency? I was like, I just had his son. She was like, you had his what? I was like, I just had his son. So I was letting him know that I was over in Kings County and I just had the baby. And I wanted him to come to the hospital to see me and the baby. She was like, oh, when he come in, I'm going to let him know that you just had the baby. I said, no problem. And we hung up. Eventually, he finally showed up at the hospital. And when he showed up, he was like, "Yo, why you tell her?" I was like, "What the fuck you mean? Why I tell her? Why you ain't tell me she existed?"
Right.
But at that time, I guess it didn't matter to him to share his situation.
And
Because,
how
like I
much
said,
older than you was he?
well, I was 16 when me and David got together, and it was a brief relationship. It wasn't like we was in this relationship for years and stuff. It was about a good 9 months, and I ended up pregnant. And like I said, when I say I hit my pregnancy, I really didn't hit my pregnancy until like I was about 4 or 5 months, because I was getting my menstrual. I didn't know I was pregnant, so I didn't have that. Oh, I missed my period. No, I was still having it, so I didn't think anything about me being pregnant, and I didn't look pregnant. Like you saw, I carried TJ all the way up until what, 6 months or something before I even got a little baby bump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that was like all my pregnancies. I carry my babies in my back and my breasts. Like my breasts got big, my hips got wide. They spread,
Right.
but I never really had a belly.
Right.
So at the time, I didn't know I was pregnant when I was pregnant. Then one day, mommy came in the room and I was just waking up. I'll never forget. I stood up out the bed, and you do that little stretch, and the belly just popped out. She walked past, she said, "What the fuck going on with you?" I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "What's wrong with your stomach?" I'm like, "I gotta take a poop. I'm kind of constipated."
You tried to hit him with the "I'm bloated"? Like what? You tried to hit grandma with you was bloated.
Oh, wow. That was funny. She, to this day, she told Ellie, she said, my older sister is Ellie. So she told Ellie she had to take me to Kings County. She think I'm pregnant. If I'm pregnant, I better make sure she get an abortion. Ellie came in there talking about, "Get up. We gotta go to the hospital. Mommy wants you to get an abortion." I said, "You better get the hell out of my face before I beat you up in here. I ain't killing shit. Yeah, this is mine. I'm keeping it. You can go tell your mama that. Since she told you to take me somewhere, I ain't going nowhere." So we got to arguing and stuff. I was like, "Ellie, don't play with me." She's like, "You know what? I ain't gonna deal with it. I'm gonna let your mother deal with it." And when mommy came home, mommy was like, "Oh, so you grown?" I ain't grown, but I ain't getting no abortion. I'm gonna have my baby. So she's like, "Oh no, the hell you ain't." So she made Ellie take me to the clinic to find out how far along I was. And when we got to the clinic, they did the little tests and stuff. And the lady told me, she was like, "Well, you about 6 months pregnant, going on 7." And she told me, and she told Ellie it was too late for me to have an abortion. It's like she about to be in her third trimester, so that wouldn't be a legal abortion at the time. So from there, it was babies coming, no matter what. And I say all the way up until I went in labor is when mommy jumped on board and she was okay about me having a baby. But it was labor time when she really, I don't know how I say, I guess it warned her, and she was wanting to have the grandbaby, knowing that she's about to be a grandmother, and it was automatically, it was her baby.
Yeah.
And Dee was raised as her baby.
Yeah.
Because once again, I went to prison when he was 6 months.
Right.
So.
All right. So, all right. Now, after Devon, so we, touched on the basis of his dad and that scenario and that situation. Another story, another time, because that can go on forever.
It sure enough can.
But so obviously you had a kid, you had to provide for him. So
at the time, welfare told me, "You live in your mama house. She gotta take care of you and your baby." And they wouldn't open up a case for me. So I wasn't getting no help from the city, the state, none of that. And so I went back to one thing I knew how to do. And I went and started selling drugs. And this time I just went a little harder. So it was like anytime somebody was like, yo, they need some work, take out of state, I was the first one with my hand up. I got you, I'm doing it. Right. You know what I mean? And then at the time, that one was my little shield. I used to carry him along with me on my runs and trips and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, you ain't really gonna search a woman carrying a baby. And so half of the time, I would have keys taped to my body with my baby over top of it in a carrier. So I went on through, did what I did, stuff like that. Then it was the times where we started doing rental cars and getting cars and doing the car situation, driving it out of state. And I went that route. What? Wow. So wow.
Just wow. So I don't even know. Like, you hear the story, but you don't really like
the details of this.
Yeah, certain things like it will start like, so obviously your motivation was like no matter what,
no matter what, I was gonna provide for my son.
Yeah.
Like even though my mom's help, she did a lot, but I still wanted to provide for me and my son. So I kept on going, kept doing it. And then
that's where the hustle mentality me come from. It's like, this is my kid. Like, Kai is mine. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna get it how I live. Like, I'll be at work all day, but just saying, like, it's that mentality of like, he's my responsibility. He's my child. Yeah. I have to provide for him. I have a village. I have some people support and help, but he's still mine.
Yeah. Like, so you're gonna do what you gotta do. Yeah. That's why I tell you all the time when I see you and you go hard for him, and I tell you, you know, half of this shit is only for you because he ain't gonna remember it. You know what I mean? But and still, I tell you to grasp the times that you have and enjoy your baby while he's a baby. You know what I mean? Because for me, I lost all of that by going to prison. I had to watch him grow up and stuff through pictures and stuff. Yeah. Like, I used to get visits, don't get me wrong, because feds send you away. The feds will send you far. So, you know, with
so
family.
Sad just now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to start crying because
here we go, emotional. You gotta pack them shits up. That's my story. How you crying on my story?
Because
on your shit. Like, what the fuck? How you crying on my story?
I'm sorry. Because, like, mom guilt is real. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it is.
I feel guilty when I'm working so much, but I got my kid right in my face. Like,
you have
so
to
it's like
enjoy the moments.
So to imagine like being actually away from him, like that breaks my heart. Like, that's really sad. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You want to pull over and I get in the driver's seat because you need to be focused. Goddamn it!
That it's just like that. That made me water, guys. I swear. Like,
that's what it is.
But all right, so let's talk about the date of the arrest. So obviously you running back and forth, you doing X, Y, and Z.
Date of the
arrest. Okay, you going out of town.
It was a toss up because we was working for these dudes, these Guyanese dudes from the 90s. At the time, they lived on 96 between East New York and Rutland, and God bless the dead, my best friend, Lord Jesus, Nick. Nick was a motherfucker at the time. Nick ain't give a fuck about nobody. Nick was selfish. Nick looked out for herself and self only. Nick ain't care who a nigga was with at the time. She did her. You know what I mean? And in the process, she started messing around with one of the guys that we was working for. And his wife set us up. Or should I say his wife set me up. Because I was the one that got arrested. I was the one that...
But you weren't the intended target.
But I wasn't the intended target, no. Because I wasn't supposed to be going on this run. But this run was close for Christmas. And once again, I felt like I wanted to provide for my son. So I took the trip because Nick, mom's told her she wasn't going nowhere. She wasn't spending the night because at the time we used to say we were spending the night at each other's houses and stuff like that when we was going out of town. So one, our parents wouldn't know what we was doing, and two, they had no clue where we was because they would think we was one place, but we'd be
elsewhere.
And at this time, we had moved on to DC, and we was working in DC. So I was transferring drugs to DC, and at this time, DC was kind of rough on us New Yorkers. Like they really had a problem with us coming down there.
That's not when paid in full.
No, I mean, so at the time we was going back and forth doing all of this, the trip came up. We in December. I'll never forget it was December the 7th, 1990. And we was supposed to have been flying down. And at the time we got to the airport, we just missed the last flight going out to DC from LaGuardia Airport. So it was only two other ways that we can get out there, and it was either the train or the bus. So we decided that we was gonna all go by bus. So when we got to the bus station, Diamond went and bought the tickets, came back, gave me and Tutu our ticket, and told us that he wasn't going. But he didn't tell us why he wasn't going. He just told us that he was gonna fly down in the morning, but we needed to get down there so we can get this money started. So we was out there. Me and Tutu got on the bus. We never ever sat together. We always sat in separate seats, and we always acted like we wasn't with each other. Pulled into DC, and I kind of blame myself because I should have never went in the bathroom and took off my package. I should have left it strapped to my body. But at the time, my tote bag had a secret compartment under the flap of the base of the bottom of the bag. Like you lift up the little cardboard piece, and it was like a little zipper part. So I took and I stuck it in there in my bag once we got on the bus, because actually the way it was taped to me, it was irritating me, so I took it off. And when I took it off, I put it in my bag. So we got off the bus. At the time, I was smoking cigarettes, so I ain't have a light. And I went up to a dude and I asked him for a light. He gave me the light. I lit my cigarette. I was standing there smoking my cigarette. And then this fine ass man walked up to me.
Tracy.
I ain't even gonna lie. Dude looked good. I'm thinking he trying to rap to me.
Yo. He thought he was spitting game on. He thought he was trying to get with you.
Game. I thought he was trying to holler at a chick. And before I know it, he had me set my bag up on the back of the car. It was an unmarked car. He had me set my bag up on the car, and he told me who he was. And I was like, wow. He was like, you mind if I search your bag?
You basically got catfished.
What? Me not knowing the law or not knowing that I had the right to tell that man no.
Yeah.
I said yes, because he told me who he was. He was like, I'm with DEA and I need to search your bag. So, telling me you law enforcement. Yeah. So I was like, okay, search my bag. And I thought I made away good until the female officer walked up, and she was like, did you check the inside department? Because it got a sliding spot on the bottom of the bag. And he was like, nah, I just went through the clothes. There's nothing in the bag. She was like, nah, check the department at the bottom of the bag. And I was just looking at that bitch like, bitch, where you come from? Like, who the fuck is you? Like, one thing led to the other. He went in that department and he found the package. He's like, oh, you almost got away. I was like, damn. Now he read me my rights. And that was it. I was arrested.
All right, so
I started out in...
Hold on, before you go into that, hold on. So you said just a while ago, you said that this day you know you shouldn't have went. You said you argued with Devon's dad. You had this gut feeling. So was it greed? Like, I don't want to say it like that because it was greed. It was greed for the money. Like,
it was greed for the money because I wanted to do for my son because it was his first Christmas. So by it being his first Christmas, I wanted to go all out for my baby. And I knew if I would have made this run, this $3,000 that I was gonna get on this run, and plus me selling my own shit down there, I was gonna come on top. And like, I was coming home with something because I had my little 2 8-balls that I done bagged up and stuff, and I also had the shit that I was transporting, and I just knew it was gonna be a good trip on that note there.
Right.
But it just didn't give me that vibes. Like, I knew something wasn't up. Like, I knew
something was wrong. But
I knew something was wrong with the situation because the way it played out, like, I should have took it from where it was. When that nigga said he wasn't going, I should have said I ain't going too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I played greed to feel me to say, now you got to make this run because you got to get this money. You got to take care of D. You got to do what you got to do for D when you get back. Long story short, I got out. I didn't get to do what I wanted to do for D. I missed my baby's first Christmas, second Christmas, third Christmas, fourth Christmas. I seen them for the fifth Christmas, but I seen them because I was in prison. 6 and 7, I went through it without him. And the 8th Christmas, I was home. Like, that 8th year, I came home. And I came home before Christmas. So I was there in 1998 for Christmas. I was home.
Okay.
So, matter of fact, I think I made you that night.
No, baby. I was made in September of 98. I was made in September.
I was still fucking down.
So, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you're funny. So, all right. Now, back to the DA, right? All right. So, because you got a Fed charge. You don't have a state charge. And so, because technically, I mean, DC is
federal.
It's federal.
It depends on where you get busted.
But it depends on where they arrest you at. Like, location matters.
Location matters. Yeah.
So, when you got off the bus, I ain't never been in people Port Authority. Well, it's not Port Authority, but I ain't never been in a bus terminal.
Well,
so
when you come up in DC at their bus terminal, it's a big circle.
Okay.
Had mad doors, bus doors, entrance out, in.
Right.
And when I came out of the bus thing on the northeast side. So northeast side, I'm 2 blocks from the Capitol. And
you're going down.
By them letting me come outside the
terminal,
the bus terminal. If I would have stayed inside and got arrested inside, it would have been a state case. But because I was on the street in the parking lot of the bus terminal, because I was at the cab stand, to tell you the truth, waiting for my cab to pull up.
That's why when we drove through DC, you see that cab? Yo, I felt like you got low. Like, yo, like, it's like you sunk down. Like where you going?
I told you I had so much anxiety that trip when we went to New York.
Yo, I'm like, yo, she got low. Like, I mean, like she was on the run or something. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? Like, you get any lower in the sleep, baby, your knees ain't gonna be able to pick you back up. I was like, yo, I was like, I'm telling you, like, the whole, like, just off track really quickly, the whole ride through DC, and it's only like a 40-minute ride through DC from, like, Virginia through, like, it's Virginia, DC, Maryland, the way we was going. It was like 40 minutes we was in DC for. I'm telling you, she was up, like, then she scooted down. I'm like, is you cool? You need me to stop? She's like, nah, you ain't stopping in DC. Keep going. I'm like,
we going through. Let's go.
Mind you, she made me get in the driver's seat back in Virginia. She's like, nah, I ain't driving through DC. It ain't happening. I'm not driving through DC. She's like, watch your speed. Don't be speeding. No. I'm like, yo, bro, chill out. She's like, nah, you don't understand. This is why I got locked up. I ain't going back. I'm like, baby, I ain't coming for you. Calm down. But yeah. So you was at the taxi stand though.
I was at the taxi stand, so I was outside the
So that's
so
federal,
I was consistent.
Their jurisdiction. That's in federal. District. That's state. Okay. So tell us like. I just want you to tell us about DC jail, and then that's gonna be it. Cause guys, I can't give y'all all the tea all at once. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna cut it off. I ain't gonna even cap y'all. Y'all gonna definitely have to tune into the next episode for anything additionally. But so tell me about DC jail. So obviously you young, you just turned 18 like a month and a half ago. Cause your birthday's in October. You got locked up in December. So yeah, you just turned 18. So obviously you're being charged as an adult. You in DC jail. So DC what was jail. That like for you?
Like I said, they didn't like New Yorkers in there. The officers didn't like us. The inmates didn't like us. You know,
you was just fighting for your life.
And I was fighting for my life. I was fighting for my life, and I was fighting for Nicole's life. Cause I'll never forget. Like after I got there.
Oh, that's one of her felon friends. I call him. What I call him? Oh my gosh. What do I call you guys? Oh my gosh. What do I call you guys? I call you guys something, and I cannot think of it right
convicts.
Now. No. Do I call them the convents?
Yeah.
No. I don't call y'all the convents. What do I call y'all? I call y'all something. I ain't gonna even lie. I got a nickname for y'all. And as soon as I remember, because y'all went on that boat ride, made me mad. Why I couldn't come? But I know Beefy Gordy game, so I couldn't come. I don't like being excluded, by the way, and I meant to tell y'all all that. But I'm gonna let y'all live right now about that. But all right, so Nico, I like Nico.
Yeah, Nico. Me and Nico made a bet while we was in there. We made a promise to one another that we was gonna name our first kids when we got out of jail after the children that we already had. And she had a son named Saquon. And you were supposed to be called Saquana.
Thank God she couldn't spell that shit. Because then I would have fighting for my damn life. Right. I'm glad. Low-key, that's the only thing I'm grateful for, that you named me after Devon, and I love Siobhan. But baby, because Saquana
was supposed to be your name.
I would have been out there really tussling. Like, never. Could never be my name.
So I said I would stick to my Vaughns, because Devon was named after Kwame. Was it Kwame? He used to have the polka dots and he used to rap. And I named Devon after him. And no, that's what his name was supposed to be, Kwame. But then Devon's David's best friend died while I was pregnant with Devon.
And Devon's name is not Devon, it's Devin.
Devin.
This is Devin. It's a hyphen on the V. His name is Devin.
It's Devin.
But grandma's like, no, it's spelled like Devon.
And so she started calling him Devon, but it is Devin. You're right. It is Devin. His name is Devin, but the way people read it, they pronounce it Devon.
Right.
And Devon passed away. And that's why Devon wasn't named Kwame. But so since I had the Devons going, I decided, since I had Vaughn in it, I decided to keep it going, and I named you Siobhan. But and TJ was supposed to be Trayvon, but
life for me, I don't know my damn name, guys.
We'll talk about that. We'll get the TJ's part of life later. TJ come along.
Because we still gotta talk about my part of life. So, yeah. But anyways, DC jail. So you and Nicole, you was fighting for your life and Nicole's life.
Yeah, because
Nicole's from New York.
Nicole is from New York. She's from Crown Heights. She's from Eastern Parkway and Buffalo and Ralph.
Oh, okay.
And
so was Nicole somebody you knew from the streets, though?
Nicole was somebody I knew from the street.
Okay.
But me and Nicole had common peoples that we knew from the streets.
Gotcha.
So at the time, we became close doing our bit.
Okay.
Where I fight for me, I'll fight for her. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll never forget. They used to call her crybaby, because Nicole used to cry for every fucking day.
I know I like Nicole.
And when Nicole cried, everybody used to come get me. Tracy, Nicole crying. Come see about her. and shit like that. So I went in there one day and she's sitting on the bed, she crying. I'm like, what you crying? What happened? She said, somebody stole my sneakers. I said, somebody what? She said, somebody stole my sneakers. I said, what you mean somebody stole your sneakers? Nah, I'll not forget. I tore DC jail up that day for her fucking sneakers. I'm like, I don't know which one of you fucking dope fiend bitches got her sneakers, but y'all bitches better get that shit up. They was all dope fiends up in that bitch at the time. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna. They know who they are. I ain't gonna call no names, but they know who they are. Okay. But anyway, it's like y'all bitches better pop up them sneakers. Them sneakers better get here before child get here. How about that? Cause ain't nobody gonna eat. Cause a bitch ain't gonna go in her cell, so nobody getting no tray. So found one sneaker in the shower, one sneaker in the TV room. But Nico got back her sneakers. Okay. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it was what it was. But I was like, I spent majority of my time in the hole, locked in my cell. Everybody sitting in front of my cell, coming to play with me, play cards with me, all kinds of shit. Cause I was always on lockdown. Cause I always did some shit. Like I ain't believe in no jailhouse rules. Like fuck your rules. Judge ain't sent me here with no rules. He told me I had to go to jail. He ain't say I had to do nothing.
All right. So when you first get booked in DC though, right?
And that was the R&D.
That was the R&D. That's where that shit come from.
That's where your feelings go in the box and mail that shit home. Okay. Because your feelings ain't gonna mean shit here, and that's where that came from. Okay. Like.
So, like I said, but this is after your trial. So I'm talking about when you first get booked.
That was my first encounter with the lady in R&D.
So you get booked. The DA take you to what was it?
Well, no, I went from.
Where did you go? Like, yeah, where did you go
from? The bus station.
Yeah,
I went to the state holding facility. I spent 6 hours there, and next thing I know, the U.S. Marshals showed up.
Not the Marshals.
And when the Marshals came, they took me from across the street to the building on the other side of the street. And that building, I ain't gonna never forget it. The van drove around, and we went through this gate, and the gate opened up, and we drove into this thing, and it was like an elevator, and the elevator went down. The truck and everything, we went down. We got to the bottom, it was like the garage, and we was under the Federal of DC District Court.
Okay.
And I went straight to the courts. I had a little premium hearing where they told me I was being charged and what I was being charged for. Okay. So at that time,
and during all of this, you never called grandma?
No, I ain't get no phone call. I ain't get the phone call until I got to the jail.
Okay.
Right now, you asked me where I went from the bus station.
Right.
I went from one holding building to another holding building, but they both were courthouses.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you went straight to the courts. And then from the courts, you went to the jail.
Okay.
So once you had your charges or what you was being prosecuted for or whatever the situation was, that's when you went over to the jail.
Okay.
So I went over to the jail. I went to the women's side of the jail. And at that time, we only had one floor in DC jail. And we had the south side, the north side, and the segregation side. And the segregation side, it was women on one side, the men was on the other. Okay. So I went from R&D to Unit 1, south side, where all the people are not sentenced, and you waiting on trial, you waiting on this, and you waiting on whatever they was going to do, you be there. Like even if you was getting bailed out, you was over on Unit 1. So that was like the intake part.
Okay.
So where everybody goes, and you lock down until you're medical cleared. Then when you medical cleared, you go to the population. So after I did all of that lockdown, medical cleared, I went into population, and that's when I met Nicole. And like Nicole was the first person that I came in contact with when I walked into the jail, and our friendship went from there. But the only thing about it is We both went to Lex. Yeah, when we got sentenced and stuff like that, Nicole got sentenced before me, so she left me at the jail. And she went to Lex first. And when I got to Lex, she already been there for a minute. And I came to Lexington and I got sentenced.
Nah, so stop. Because we got to go through your trial. Because, baby, you're going to have to hear what you told the judge and some more. So I think we actually going to stop there. Only because you can't give it to him like that, man. That is like...
You asked for it.
I know
you
that.
Me to share, so
I
I'm
do.
sharing.
Because you know what, Mom? That has a lot to do with my upbringing, because like you said, you've said it in previous videos multiple times that quite literally, like, the reason that you are the way you are is because of the walk of life you had, and you knew that you didn't want your daughter to go through certain things. So at the end of the day, I need them to understand that this relationship, this bond is as strong as it is because of the things you went through, and the things that you went through weren't easy, but you are literally here to tell that story as the strong Black woman that you are, and raising this lovely Black woman that I am. Like, I'm always grateful for you. So it's like, to hear your story, I love it. I genuinely love it. So I'm going to stop the video here, guys. You're going to definitely have to tune in next week for part 2 and the rest of the tea, because baby, this tea is piping hot, and y'all gonna like it. So continue to like, share, subscribe, follow the TikTok, and we gonna continue this story, because baby, it's getting juicy, it's getting spicy out here. So tune in next week, guys. Bye. Later.